WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I'm in Canada, well, maybe Mexico. The Grand Grizzly. This is a Canadian rye whiskey that is only available in Mexico. But recently it's actually appeared in Poland as well as Romania. I do not understand the marketing strategy here at all. When it originally appeared, 2015, in Mexico, it had a price of 99 pesos, which translated back then into $8. And at the moment, it's one of the most sought after Canadian whiskeys in all of Mexico. And the going price is double, almost 200 pesos now, which would be a little more than 15 US dollars. Canadian rye whiskey. Rye, I'm not sure if it's really 100% rye as we know it, or it's the Canadian rye, which means anything goes. I like Canada, but sometimes their rules are a little bit vague. Whiskey Nerd, which is a whiskey YouTuber from the country of Austria, not Australia, Austria where the Alps are. He actually sent this to me. His brother-in-law was in Mexico, found the bottle, bought it, not a bad looking bottle actually, brought it back and said, hey, try it. And he was like, well, I don't know what it is. He said, try it. He said, okay, and he didn't like it. And I said, hey, I've never seen that before. He said, you want some? I said, yeah, send me a little bit. And he sent me this big old bottle. He says, I want to get rid of as much as I can. I said, why not? And the thing is, this is probably Alberta, Beam Suntory. And what they want to do is they want to make a whiskey which is very, very, very competitive to the tequila. Not talking about that cheap stuff that you have to take the salt and lemon and so on to get rid of that bad taste, but the good tequila. The tequila that's really made where they cut the plants and actually create all the wonderful juice from those freshly harvested plants. This is supposed to be a type of competition for that. So just like everything in Germany is more like beer, because Germans love beer, everything in Mexico might be like tequila. And so the whiskey should taste like tequila. So let me first of all nose it. Now, I'm not the tequila expert, but I could imagine that some people would associate with that. Now, I do know a little bit about how to describe spirits, and so I'm going to say it smells like lychee, which is a very exotic fruit from the Asian realm, together with a little bit of raspberry and a little bit of maple syrup. You can get rid of the maple, just put the corn syrup in there, all right? So you have the lychee together with the raspberry and some corn syrup, the sweetness of that. And that's what I'm getting here on the nose. It's pleasant. I like it. It's very, very dangerously sweet as well. I was reading through the reviews and a lot of people said, hey, I'm Canadian. I went down to Mexico, bought a bottle, drank half of it, got a buzz. That was nice. That's like 5 people said exactly the same thing. Drank half the bottle, got a buzz. It was nice. I think this is one of the whiskeys that you have to be a little bit careful about because you can just kind of drink it and just go, okay, no problem. And yet we forget that it's 40% alcohol by volume. And so if we drink a liter of it, we're actually drinking half a liter pure alcohol, which is much more than wine, 18% or 14% or maybe even 12%, depends on what you got. Beer over here in Germany, 6 to 8%, in America, 3 to 4%. It's a different league altogether. And so if you just empty one of these glasses about every 10 minutes, you're going to get hammered very quick. Lychee, raspberry, corn syrup. Little tiny bit of wood in there as well. I once had, I don't know if it was an energy drink or something, maybe it was just water, and it had something called cactus juice. I have no idea what cactus juice is, but I'm actually thinking of that right now. Imagine the lychee, imagine the raspberry, and a little bit of cactus juice in there. That's what I'm getting. And it's so smooth. It's just like, okay, nice. And it's a sweet aftertaste. The finish is very, very sweet, and it's just like, okay, more. And this is where it gets dangerous. And so I'm going to actually give this a C plus in my rating for the taste. And then wait a second. There's nothing wrong with this. If you want a nice, sweet, seemingly practically a one or two dimensional whiskey, spirit, I'm going to give this a B for value for money. If you can pick this up for even 100 or even 200 pesos down in Mexico, I think you've got yourself a deal. I would much rather drink this than Johnny Walker Red Label or Canadian Club or anything else you can get served me. Now, would I prefer this over a good bourbon? Probably not, but I'm not sure if you can get a good bourbon down there in Mexico for under 10 euros. Now, if you can get a good bourbon for around the 10 euro mark, $10 mark, or this, I would always go for the bourbon. The bourbon's got a much better flavor profile. But if I had to pick this or tequila, I'm going to go for this. And so that's my personal opinion. So my question today is, have you ever had the Grand Grizzly? If not, if so, what was your opinion? My second question is, what is the best non-bourbon that you know of under $20 in the States, or in under 20 euros in Europe, or under 20 pounds in the UK? I can't say 20 yen because that wouldn't work out or whatever. But what's your best cheap whiskey that's not a bourbon? All right, very important part. That's not a bourbon. We have a supermarket Irish whiskey over here called O'Connor. I can actually recommend that. The Tyrconnell single malt is under $20. I can recommend that. I'm having a problem finding a good Scotch under 20 euros that are $20 that I can recommend. But I know there's quite a few of good bourbons out there. That's why I eliminated them. So, question of the day: what type of good Scotch or Irish or Japanese or whatever whiskey, anything excluding bourbons or Canadians, can you recommend under $20? WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American tasting rare and exotic and weird whiskey. Thank you very much for watching this review of the Grand Grizzly Canadian rye whiskey from Mexico, Poland, and Romania at the moment. And please like, subscribe, tell others about this guy over here tasting whiskey in Europe that you may never ever see. Bye-bye.